So the San Francisco 49ers have decided they traded down a spot and then went out and got Javon Kinlaw. He's someone I really like, although I am a bit unsure of this pick if I'm being totally honest. I really do like him. I do kind of wonder what the value was in getting rid of Buckner to get a guy who probably won't be as good as Buckner. Now, admittedly, he's a lot cheaper. So I guess that's the dilemma of they felt like getting Kinlaw and being able to pay him a lot less would be more valuable than keeping Buckner and having to give him a huge contract. There's some logic there. There definitely is. Personally, I kind of think I go with Jerry Judy there. I think Jerry Judy is the better player. He's a player that I like better. But at the end of the day, I'm not too mad at this pick, even if it's not what I would have done, because I do think Kinlaw is very good. I think, you look at Kinlaw's, I keep saying this because it's true. You look at Kinlaw's highlights, and they're better than Derek Brown's highlights. Like, his highlights are the best highlights, like, out of any defensive lineman, except for Chase Young, of course. But that's just one of the things that I really like about him, and I do think that he is a very talented player. He can dominate, and, it's kind of interesting now with both the Panthers and clearly one of the big ways they build their team is by getting to the quarterback, and he can do that. He can, just having a good defensive line in general. That's something they find very valuable, and for a good reason. It is very valuable, and he's showing why. When he was playing in college, he had a huge impact, and I do think he will have a huge impact in the NFL, and they're saving money doing it this way. So, again, I just like Jerry Judy a lot. That's why I didn't love the pick, but I do still really like Kinlaw, and I am not mad at this pick. If Judy was already off the board, I would say absolutely right pick. But I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Let's just get into the film study. People often talk about the first step being so important. That's where Kinlaw is on the screen. That first step for a defensive tackle, it can mean everything. I mean, if you can get to the guard quicker than he can get to you, and you surprise him with that, it can be a huge problem, especially with hand placement is so important. It is going to be a guard that's blocking him, again, as you see on the screen. It can be so important to get that perfect hand placement that having that first step can mean everything. Usually I like to not tell you what's going to happen before I show you the play. I like you to just sort of see what happens, but I'm not going to do that this time. Kinlaw is going to win this matchup. He is going to have a very quick first step, and he's going to get good hand placement. That's not really what I want you to take a look at. I want you to see that not only does he have this good first step, not only is he going to be able to take advantage of it by using his hands, but watch how far back he pushes that guard. I mean, that's like he's doing a drill right there, and it's a dummy out there. I mean, what a move, and that just kind of shows the strength that this guy possesses. He's going to finish it off, get the sack. Javon Kinlaw, he's not the best prospect in this draft. He might be the most fun to watch. I mean, his highlights are better than almost anybody in the draft. I mean, maybe Chase Young has better highlights, and then maybe some of these quarterbacks. If you like receiving highlights, maybe you prefer that. But his highlights, when he wins a matchup, he doesn't just win it, he dominates it. Like, watch, this one's another perfect example where he's going to be going up one-on-one against the center right here. So, okay, already a good situation, right? You're going up against the center, as I showed you on that last play. Kinlaw, when he gets good hand placement quickly, you could be in trouble. He has a very quick first step. So, this seems like already a good situation. Obviously, a center, your hands are down. It's more difficult to get them up. So, definitely some problems there. But what Kinlaw is going to do is he's going to try to get his hands basically on the chest of the center and just try to overpower him. Kind of a questionable decision, right? Well, no, and here's why. Look at how, again, not only does he win that matchup, he completely knocks that center down, and even after the quarterback, Tua, tried to scramble, he didn't let Tua get away, so he had the footwork and the speed to keep up with him. I mean, again, that's kind of why I say his highlights are the best, in college, outside of maybe 2 or 3 guys. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is better than everybody. I mean, you have to be consistently good. He doesn't have the consistency that some of these other guys do in the draft. That is true. But at the same time, he is just so talented. He has so many just fun plays, some fun wins. And, he can really be effective in so many different ways. The The power is the most fun one. Like, that's the one I show you on those first couple of plays, because let's be honest, that was awesome. Like, let's just be real. That's super cool to see. But it's not just power. He can do a lot. Let's show this play, where this is going to be a twist right here. So this is more about footwork than it is about power, although power can still factor in. As you see on the screen, he's supposed to run in between the guard and the tackle, but really what you want here is you want to basically just fool the offensive line. Like, basically you want to get the guard and tackle to move to where Kinlaw is. The edge rusher can run around the guard. Hopefully the center goes over and blocks somebody on the top half of the screen, and then you can just run straight through, get a straight shot. That's the hope. And at this point, you're going to notice that, okay, Kinlaw is in between the guard and tackle, so the guard kind of realizes what's going on. He says, oh, I see. This is the twist. I can't allow a guy to get completely free to my quarterback, since the center is moving up to the top half of the screen, so I have to run over and block the edge rusher, which is relatively smart. The problem is the tackle hasn't quite figured that out just yet. This is a very quick play. Sometimes it's difficult to figure things out. He hasn't fully figured it out, and because of Kinlaw's speed and quickness and how he got there so quickly, he is going to be able to just power through, run right through both of them, and that leads to an interception, and it leads to a pick six. I can't show the full play because of copyright reasons, which is unfortunate, but yeah, it did lead to a pick six. Take my word for it. Go back and watch it if you want. I'm sure you won't have too much of a hard time finding it. But yeah, I mean, just again, I really like this guy. I think that he is definitely going to be a star in the making. Reminds me a lot of Gerald McCoy. He's a very similar player to McCoy, I feel like. Once McCoy, when McCoy is back in his prime. Not saying he will be Gerald McCoy, but I just see a lot of comparisons. That's all. Every time I make a comparison, it's like, what, you really think he's going to end up being that good? I'm not saying that. I just think that there's a chance. They have similar play styles. That's the hope, is, that's his upside, is Gerald McCoy, basically. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can even get more out of a player by watching their losses, not just their wins. And sometimes, even when you get beat, it's still like, whoa, that was a battle to win that matchup. And what I mean is a play like this, where again it's going to be a center going up against Kinlaw. And so Kinlaw, what he's going to try to do on this play is, same thing he usually does, just go quickly, use some power. He's going to try to put his hands on basically both shoulder areas, like he typically likes to do. But what you're going to see this center do is kind of allow himself to get beat to the top of the screen, knowing it's going to be a run towards the bottom of the screen, and then kind of just go down like that. Watch how he just sort of almost allows himself to get beat just to make sure he doesn't get blown up on that play. So on one hand, mission accomplished, Kinlaw has been taken out of the play, but on the other hand, now the line of scrimmage has basically been moved 2 yards backwards, and now the halfback for Alabama has to make a decision a lot more quickly, and there's a lot of South Carolina players who are in the area. They're able to run over, make the play, not allow him to gain any yards, and that's the kind of thing that, Kinlaw, kind of the threat of Kinlaw was able to come into play on that one. Even though he didn't actually necessarily get the win, just his talent and his ability to be so powerful and be such a threat caused the center to kind of take himself out of the play, which then kind of caused things to be more difficult to run your offensive play when you have a couple of guys lying on the ground right in front of your halfback. That makes things difficult. So again, everyone loses. It's about how do you lose, and that one, it's hard to really call that a loss. It was more of like an intentional draw, to just hope that he didn't blow up the play to kind of make the play automatically worse and just accept a slight bad thing to happen right off the bat. And it's also always interesting to see, well, how do opposing players go about trying to beat them? And when their answer is, let's just not even try, let's just hope that things don't go terribly for us, typically that's a pretty good thing. Typically you can feel pretty good about yourself when opposing players are like, you know what, I'm good. I think I'm all right. You do your thing. I'm all right. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing, without a doubt. Pretty fun stuff. I love watching this guy's tape. He's so much fun. If you have some free time, do yourself a favor. Watch some Javon Kinlaw tape. He is just a blast to watch. Definitely one of the more fun videos I've made tonight. A lot of videos. He's definitely a really fun guy. I'm sure you can see it in the way I'm talking. It's an exciting thing. But yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.